changes if nothing changes, right? So life. Life is what you make it. Most people do not have a problem with most people do not have a problem with information. They have a problem with execution because they're not breaking the cycle, right? So most people know how to start a business. Most people know how to make $100,000. Most people know how they can lose weight. Most people know how they could network more, but they're not going to do it because their body is so used to being in a cycle. You have to break the cycle. In order for you to get to where you want to be, you have to break the cycle of something that you could be in that you're not in. Just like the title says, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And so I'm talking about this because this is something that I have to tell myself. Like, this whole channel is literally about the stuff I be going through, bro. It's crazy how we as people could find out something. Say we find out some information, and instead of us making a decision based off that information, we will still be in a fucking cycle. Like, have you ever cried about something 3 times? You ever cried about the same shit 4 times? You ever just been so upset about the same thing multiple fucking times? And we gotta understand the definition of a what's the word, doing something so many times but expecting a different result, doing the same thing all the time but expecting something different. What's that word called again? Something like, it's some word for it. But I noticed that that's something that I have done to myself. Like, I find myself, I'm talking about multiple times, being upset about some shit that I was just upset about 2 fucking weeks ago. Like, you gotta understand that you gotta move on from shit. Like, shit cannot be getting you tight like it's some new information. You been knew that. You been knew that. And I'm talking about a lot of stuff. For example, my job. Every single time I've literally told myself since legit, oh, I don't want to work this job. I don't want to work that job. I really don't want to work no fucking job, period. Like, I just want to be successful in my own business. Like, if I can get up every single day, like, if you can get up every single day for 10 hours out of the day, show up on time, show up ready, show up professional as fuck, follow every direction, and them tell you how much you can get paid, bro, you can do that shit for your fucking self. Like, if you can do that for somebody else, you can do it for yourself. So that's one cycle that I keep thinking about, because keep in mind, I ain't had a job in so long. I just out of the blue, after like probably like 2 years of me not having a job and me just strictly being online business, I went to a warehouse job. I worked a warehouse job. After I left that job, why the hell did I go looking for another job? It's like, bro, stick to the shit that you was doing before you even was working in a job. This stuff is a cycle. If you do something one time, you instantly, I'm talking about, you instantly will do the same thing again, because it is a cycle. No human does anything one time. That's something that's like a psychologist, psychological um fact. If you see somebody doing something, they're most likely not their first time doing it, and it's not going to be their last time. People do the same thing. That's why you can't change nobody. That's why you can't tell nobody what to do, because people are in a cycle. And when I'm trying to break out of a cycle, you have to physically break out of the cycle. Do not talk about it. Don't say anything to anybody else about it, but you just have to do it, right? That's one thing. That's just the whole job situation in my business. Second thing, I'm talking to a family member. I'm realizing like, boom, okay, boom. They wind up saying something to me and I get upset and I literally start crying because I'm like, damn, this motherfucker don't give a fuck about me, right? I'm talking about somebody in my family. Then I sit back and I think to myself, like, bruh, I remember I cried about this same thing, just the fact that this motherfucker don't give no fuck about me, probably like 3 years ago or like 4 years ago. And it's like, that's a fucking cycle, Naya. Why would you be emotional about some shit that you found out 4 years ago? Like, some of this shit is so fucking stupid. It's mind blowing because even though I could be that, I can genuinely be feeling like that in the moment. But then I'm just like looking at myself. I'm like, what the hell is you doing? And then you gotta understand, once you find out a motherfucker don't give a fuck about you, right? If you find out that, and then you do the same thing, probably like, I don't know, probably if you do the same thing, it's because you're in a cycle. And you don't want to be in no fucking cycle, bruh. Because that shit takes years off of your life, one, and two, it just brings you the fuck down. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time to be fucking crying or upset about some shit that they already knew, you know? And that's what it is. You just gotta pray about it. Like, really pray about it. Don't pray about anything else other than for God will to be done. Yeah, I'm doing good. It's just a realization that I'm having. Like, just pray that God's will be done and that you could just move on from stuff. Don't try to fix nobody. Don't try to be upset about something. Don't try to cry about something that you already knew about years ago. Just be happy in the present that you are in, because it's easy to fall into a cycle. It's easy to allow yourself to do something one time. Now next thing you know, it's 3 years later and you done did this shit 1,500 times. It's easy to do that. You gotta understand, right? Don't push them to do anything. Just pray for them. And I'm like, I was just talking about that like the other week. Pray for everybody. Like, even the ones who have done you wrong, who you feel like have done you wrong or who have misled you in some way. Pray for everybody, bruh. Like, let everybody be everybody. Let God do what they go do, what he gonna do with everybody. And just let it be that. But as far as you physically, any cycle that you feel like, um, yeah, yes I do. Any cycle that you may feel like, you need to break out of it though. Like, I need a scripture for that myself. Like, I'm gonna have to look up a scripture, see, like, just something specifically about this whole subject. But it's crazy to me, and it's just something that I told myself earlier today, and I just wanted to come on here and share with y'all. Like, you gotta change stuff about your own self, like, physically, because you just got to. You want to break the cycle. Do not waste time in a cycle. Okay, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Proverbs 17:22. I'm gonna do that. It's just like, you have to, You really just have to do that because you don't want to waste your life. It's some people out here, man. Some people been living the same life that they claim they would not want to live for 3 years. And you gotta understand when you somebody who is like in a cycle too, people don't respect you. People don't care nothing about you. If you somebody who claims so much that you are um you in a relationship that you don't want to be in, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna break up with him, da da da. But you've been saying the same thing for years and you're in a continuous cycle, people lose respect for you. People are not going to care about you. People are not going to care about your word. People are not going to care what people are not even going to trust you. You have to make your words mean something because they actually mean something, whether you know it or not. You have to move with intentions because your intentions do matter, whether you know any of this or not. Right. They could be trying to change, but it could be hard too. Right. And so I'm just like, I'm just going through this with my family. I like got my feelings hurt today, but it's really like it's not nothing new that I really knew. It's not nothing new that I just found out because I already knew this. So I'm just like, so I'm just doing all that, but I'm gonna read it. Proverbs 17:22. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you just gotta break the cycle. I feel like sometimes I get in a cycle by doing something that I already knew that does not work. Like it could be like I was saying about my family member, it could be any type of relationship. If you know this relationship is not gonna work, you and this person are out of alignment. You have to come to terms with that and just move the hell on and be okay with that. You cannot continue to be like, dang, this person not my type. Then you go back to talk to them again. Then be like, dang, I don't think we like each other. Then start talking to them again. That's a cycle. And stuff like that breaks away your life force. If you really want to break out of a cycle, you have to change your identity. That's another thing. You have to get right with God. Like God is the key to all of this. Like you got to get in your word, you got to get in your Bible, you got to get still enough to be still and be quiet enough to hear the voice of God. Nothing can speak to you if you consistently just moving around in a cycle that you don't want to be in. And then, like I was saying, like every cycle is because you're in an identity. That's something that I realized right before. Like, oh my gosh, this shit gets deep. Actually, that's something that I realized when I was in this job. I was tired of working at this fucking job. Like I was working in a warehouse job, and I was just like, I don't want to work at this job. Then I'm like, if you don't want to work at the job, why are you still going to the job? And then something in my head was like, because you think you're somebody that has to continue to go to this job. You think you're somebody who has to do this everything. This shit it gets this shit really get crazy. Everything that you do it because you're the type of person to do it. So every girl that you choose to be with, you do it because you think that's the type of girl you should be with. Every man that you decide to be with, you do it because you think that's the type of man that you deserve. Whoever you choose to be in a relationship with, you choose that person because you think that this person is somebody that you deserve. And you think they're a reflection of you because people choose people who are a reflection of them in some type of way, right? And so when you're actively participating in something, it could be a job, it could be a business, it could be a relationship. When you're participating in something that you don't want to do, you have to become a different person and be like, this is not what I do. Just like if you smoke, if you smoke or if you're a drinker, right? If you want to stop drinking, you have to just be like, I don't even drink. I'm not the type of person to drink. Never never really liked it that much. So I don't drink anymore. I see what it's doing to me. I see what it did to me back then. And I'm choosing not to drink anymore. You know? You have to shift your identity because if you don't break the cycle, ain't nothing gonna change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Everything is identity. Like the clothes that you wear, like whatever you got on right now, that's your identity. Whatever your habits are, that's who you are. And so when you feel yourself in a cycle of something that you really don't want to be in, then you have to break that cycle by changing your identity and being somebody who don't even relate. Like, man, I don't even relate to that type of stuff. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. That's how you do it. I had to do the same thing whenever I was leaving my job. Like, do you know how hard it is? Another thing, bro, it's not easy breaking no cycle. It's not easy, but it is once you get the information. But it's gonna be hard because your body is so fucking used to familiarity. Do you know how hard it is to just wake up and do some shit you ain't never did before? It could be exciting, but you're gonna be nervous because it's like, I don't know what this is. And so it's like if you was raised a certain way and you was raised to do this, you was raised eating a certain thing, going a certain place, right? Being in a certain light, doing a certain thing. You can be, it don't matter how old you is. You could be 10 or you could be 20 or you could be 60. It's going to be hard switching up something that you ain't never did before. Like, or switching up something especially something you ain't never seen nobody else do. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be worth it. You got to think about it. Anything that your imagination is pushing you towards is because in some life you have it. Life is just not right now. Like life is in different timelines. That's why quantum leaping is a thing. That's why you see people be one person one day and a totally different person weeks from now, months from now, because they stepped into that identity. Like they got up out their body and left everything that was attached to this cycle and they got into something else. And so the cycle could consist of your friends, um, your job place, your business. A cycle could consist of all of that. But in order for you to break out of the cycle, you have to change everything that is the cycle. Get a piece of paper and write down what is this cycle. Like for me, my cycle was working at a job, constantly being on social media, visualizing a life that I wanted to live, but not fucking doing it. Like, do you know how much torture that is? That's like eating fucking noodles, wishing that you could eat romaine, Japanese, and sushi, and yum yum sauce and shrimp. I'm just saying it because that's my favorite food, and I don't like no noodles. So some people like noodles though. But I be seeing people be rich as hell still eat noodles. You know, I don't want none. But I like sushi. It's like one of my favorite foods. But it's like eating something that you don't want to eat, but visualizing something else. If you visualizing anything, it's because it's a version of you that has that thing. Like it's a version of you right beside it. Like you can imagine it. If you can imagine it, you can do it. Your imagination is the gateway to freedom. Your imagination is what's going to get you to where you need to be. Your imagination is what's going to allow you to step into a different identity that you've never seen and nobody else has ever seen before. Your imagination is going to allow you to break out of the cycle. The fact that you are even watching this video, or the fact that you can even have a conversation about breaking out of the cycle, shows that you are breaking out of the cycle. People who not breaking out of the cycle, they don't even know what a cycle is. They don't know how to spell cycle. They can never even imagine anything about what we're talking about right now. So that's the first step. The first step is your mind. But man, I'm telling you, you gotta put this shit in action. Most people, I literally was just reading a book about this. Most people, I'm telling y'all, this shit is crazy. This shit is like, this is some spiritual stuff. Like, this don't even have nothing to do with anything else. Like, money is spiritual. Lifestyle is spiritual. Like, when you see people living how, bro, all this stuff is spiritual. When I tell you, I was reading this today, how most people, they don't have an information problem. They have an execution problem. People know, like, we live in an era of technology, which can be crazy because people are just overloaded with so much information that it could be overwhelming. Like for me, before I started on any business, I researched so much. Like I was researching for years, like what business should I do? What business should I do? What business should I do? You know what I'm saying? And I did like 3, 4 different online ventures before I got to where I am right now. And it's like it's just a matter of like knowing information. When you know this information, when you know certain information, certain stuff not gonna be able to fuck with you. Like the fact how, like I was saying earlier, um don't be a victim and don't let people hurt your feelings, because when you find out a motherfucker is genuinely doing shit purposely to hurt your feelings, you gonna be like, wait, what? So all this shit was a setup. You're not gonna allow it to happen. And so when you understand that we're living in a time where information is just thrown on us, so many people paralyzed by information, they don't know which way to turn. It'll make you turn somewhere because, like, bro, this shit is on purpose. People are in a cycle now. It's not an excuse anymore. It's not an excuse to be in a cycle because you can easily leverage something different. Like, you can easily do something different if you really wanted to. That's why people that's successful as fuck and where they want to be, they don't feel bad for people who not, because they feel like, bro, if you wanted this shit, you will go get it. Like, don't nobody got no sympathy for nobody. Like, you just got to break out of a cycle. You have to break out of a cycle. Anything that you want to do, you have to do it yourself. You have to break out of a cycle. You have to break out of a cycle. You have to break out of a cycle. Do not, like, it's going to be hard because your body wants to keep you in some shit that's familiar. But you just gotta understand, you gotta be more scared of where you are than scared of where you're going, because you can only go up. You can only succeed. You can only be somebody who you actually genuinely want to be. Like, but being where you at, you gotta be so motherfucking scared that that shit petrifies you. Like, you gotta be scared of a cycle. Like I said, it could be anything. It could be your relationship that you've been trying with a person for going on 10, 15 years. It could be a job. It could be a business that, like, haven't really got no sales in the first probably like 6 months or something. Like, and you didn't put money towards ads, organic marketing, everything, and nothing is working. You have to know when to break a cycle. And when it's time to break a cycle, you gotta be so motherfucking scared. You gotta be cycle. You gotta think, damn, do I wanna live like this for the next 5 to 10 years? If the answer is no, then you gotta go. Like, you gotta get up and do some shit immediately because nothing changes if nothing changes. And I done got to the point where I'm so fucking bitchy and people be like, oh my God, you're this, you're that. But it's like, no, like, you gotta understand when people is doing hard ass shit, people are hard as fuck. Like, this is not no easy stuff what I'm doing. Like, this is not something that just is that can be easily done by somebody who ain't got no fucking backbone, by somebody who ain't got no plan, by somebody who can't say no. Like, yeah, I do all that, because it's like my life and getting this shit done is more important than anything because everything else is going to come afterwards. If I continue to stay in a cycle, I'm not gonna be happy. If I continue to just be in a lifestyle and in a place that I really don't want to be, I'm not going to be happy. I am not going to be happy. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be rude. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be upset. Right? Because who wants to just live a life that they don't want to live? Like, I feel like it's crazy because a lot of people could be like, bro, you could just be happy. You could just be happy. You could just be happy. You can just be happy. And you could just be comfortable. And you could just be living your best life. But you can break out of a cycle too. You know? So when it comes to breaking out of a cycle, you gotta ask yourself, like, when it comes to making that leap, you gotta trust yourself. Have so much fucking have faith in this shit. Have real faith in this shit. Because either you gonna have faith and live your best life that you ever could imagine. Like, it's only two options in this shit. It's only two options. It ain't no other way around it. Either you can break the cycle and live the best life that you've ever imagined, or you keep doing what you're doing. And it's that simple. I know your brain will be like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, no. Do not allow your brain to make you be continuously in a cycle because that's the reason why you there in the first place. Your brain. Like, I even have problems with that myself because it's going to be something that says, oh no, just say safe. Safe is comfortable. Safe is staying exactly where the fuck you at. Safe is putting your seatbelt on. I'm not putting my seatbelt on because I'm finna get the fuck up out of here. This shit is in park. I'm not riding on this lane. I'm not getting up in this car no more. You know what I'm saying? Being safe is just like sitting back, relaxing, put the seatbelt on. Ooh, cut the radio on. No, like take the seatbelt off, open the fucking door, and jump the fuck out. You have to break the cycle. Some people are more comfortable than others. Some people are more happy than others. That's something that I realized, which I gotta work on that my damn self. Like, I'll make a video on that pretty soon. Yeah, it's coming. But as far as like physically breaking out of the cycle, bro, you gotta do this shit, bro. Either you do that shit and live the best life, either you live your best life or your worst life. That's the only two choices it is. Break the cycle because ain't nothing gonna change if nothing change. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Don't nobody give a fuck about you. Like, I literally be having to tell myself that and other people. Don't nobody give a fuck about me. I know you don't give a fuck about me. He don't give a fuck about me. She don't give a fuck about me. Don't nobody give a fuck about me. So whether you living your best life or your worst life, guess what? Don't nobody give a care. I promise you, don't nobody care. And you gotta understand that, like, that's just life. This is your life. If you wanna live your life how you wanna live it, you gotta break that cycle. And when you break that cycle, boy, I'm talking about so many doors for you going to open up. So many doors. Just like when they say when God closes one door, three more open. So many doors are going to open for you once you close the door of whatever cycle that you're in. You gotta understand you're choosing this cycle. You choosing to do this shit, and you can do anything that you want to do. You can do anything. Anything that you want to do, you can do it. You just gotta break out of the cycle. And it's so fucking hard. Because it's not fucking real. If you somebody who ain't never did a backflip in your motherfucking life, and you just like, bro, I do a backflip. Whew, I gotta stand up and do it. If you're gonna stand up and do that shit, you just be lame. To keep walking around on 2 feet like everybody else. But yeah, y'all. Let me see y'all later. break the cycle or stay stuck forever. And that shit really not no joke.